Hello!
Welcome back to
Drink Read Fabio!
My name is Brimmer.
And my name is Sophia Kaiafas, and we are your hosts of this podcast.
Today we're going to be discussing a book we have actually both read.
Yes, we're doing something different.
Of course.
Shaking it up. I read this book last year, and I've been telling Kate to read it.
For so long.
And I just want to put a disclaimer out there, because I don't know Kate's opinion. She has been keeping a very good poker face, but I'm honestly scared. Because is this book good? No. But did I love it? Yes. So, that's what we're working with. So I just want to put it out there. I don't think this is a masterpiece of art, but I think it spoke to my middle school, high school self that wanted to live in these girls' shoes. So.
Oh, okay, Sophia.
So let's get started.
All right, cheers, my friend.
Cheers.
All right.
Okay.
So let me give you a little brief synopsis if you have not read this book. So, this is The Boys of So obviously this is The Boys of Brayshaw High by Megan Brandy.
Yes.
This book revolves around Raven, who has grown up on the wrong side of the tracks. Her mom is the trailer park prostitute and ignores Raven unless she is of use to her.
Yeah.
And this has happened her whole entire life. She's never had a real parental figure. She's had to fend for herself. She's constantly in fight or flight. One day at school, Raven gets into a big fight, big enough that they have her social worker remove her from her mom and send her to a home for troubled high school girls. And now she has to attend a new high school, which is Brayshaw High. A school with a weird hierarchy system where three boys, Royce, Captain, and Maddock, kind of run the school. They are the kings of the castle. And they do not like her because she's causing trouble, but slowly she somehow gets under their skin.
Of course.
So if you have not read this book, or if you're planning on wanting to read this book, stop there.
Stop.
Go on and read it and come back and listen to this episode, because now we're going to get into some major spoilers and get deep into this book.
Yeah, and share our opinions.
Yes, so Sophia, now that we have the people who want to hear more, take it away for the rest of the book.
Okay. Yes. So she gets there. Obviously, she's the hot girl, and they don't like that she stands up for herself. She gets into trouble, and they basically take her on as they're like, you're ours now, and we're going to tell you what to do. But she doesn't like that. And then they just kind of become friends, because they're all kind of like outlaws in their own way. And so she starts to fall in love with Maddock.
So another thing that happens is that these three boys all live together. They call each other brothers, but they're not blood brothers. And they also do not have a parental figure because their dad is in prison.
Yes.
So they live by themselves, so they kind of see themselves in her. In this whole story.
They understand her.
And kind of also understand all the girls in the home and kind of show mercy towards them and are empathetic towards them. So, do you want to tell more of an in-depth of what happens in the book?
You say, because I haven't read it in a while. I went through, but I think you could probably say better explanation.
So basically when she gets to the school, she's causing trouble, she's getting into fights, and the three boys do not like this because they have set this hierarchy, which basically makes everybody else afraid of them, and everybody wants to be on their good side. So they do not like that she's causing issues. So they at first start punishing her and getting people to do mean things to her so that they can try to get her to just follow along and go under the radar. She refuses. She ends up making friends with the girls in the home and with a guy in the guy home who runs a fighting ring. She starts fighting to make money. And then slowly she starts doing really nice things for the boys, not intentionally, but just because she's a good person at heart and she wants to help them along the way.
She sees right and wrong, and she wants to stand for the right side of it.
And they have never had anybody do something just out of the kindness of their heart for them. So it throws them off. They're like, okay, what do you want from us? And he says, nothing. I just want you to not be hurt or not have anything bad for you. So they kind of take her under her wing. She's also, they keep describing her as like the hottest girl in the world. They basically say
she's like Megan Fox.
She's like Megan Fox.
Yeah.
So all three of the boys think she's so hot, but Maddox, who's kind of the ringleader, is like, she's mine.
Yeah.
And gets super possessive. And her mom comes and throws a stink, and so then she goes and punches a girl, gets kicked out of the house, yada yada. She has to go and then live with the boys in their mansion because for some reason they have a big mansion.
Yeah.
And they go on this.
They live in a mansion by themselves.
By themselves.
No parents.
Whatever.
It's fine.
And then they go on some weird orgy retreat.
Yeah.
And they, you know, get frisky, and then her and Maddox get closer, even though it's a weird bond because he just wants her for her body and she's like, I don't want you, but then they still want each other.
Yeah,
and
of course.
There's not really any emotional connection there. It's just really physical.
Oops.
And then they always get mad at her. She has to do what she wants, yada yada. And that's the whole story. So,
yes,
we want to talk about some things that we loved, some things we didn't love, some things that were just batshit crazy.
Yep.
And why don't you take it away?
Okay, so we can start with least favorite?
Let's start with least favorite.
Okay. So, my number 3, I'm going to go on from...
Not as bad to worse.
Yes.
Got it.
So, my first one was Raven and the boys' first interaction. It is just so sexual. And for what? And for what? She shows up at the school and they're like, come for me. Like, it's just like, ooh, this is really forward. It's just too much. It's just too weird.
They don't know her.
They don't know her at all. They're just like, she's hot. She looks edgy. We know that she's coming from a bad past. So let's fuck with her. And like, you know, say all these sexual things to her, which is just like, that's a lot.
It's a lot. So my number 3 is how long it takes to get to any romance, any actual physical stuff. You have to read 200 pages of this book to get any sort of action at all. No kissing, no nothing.
It's true.
And we didn't get any sort of hot action until page 200. And then it was just balls to the wall from then on. It went from zero, literally nothing, 0 to so much.
Okay, but they did, like, the whole book is so sexual from the very beginning. So they're always taunting her sexually, which is hot, but yeah, there is no actual action.
Nothing, and it's like it doesn't really come from anywhere, and then all of a sudden it comes real hard. Real hard. Like 0 to 100. And also, the sex scenes after are kind of written like pornos a bit.
Oh yeah.
Which isn't my fave because not much is done to the girl. And like, it's just like super hard and rough. And then they always both come out of penetration because that's how it works in pornos.
Yeah.
Which I was like, okay, come on. That's my number 3.
Okay.
Awesome. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is all the low-key sexual assault. But like, they just want us to ignore it because the guys are hot. But like, they low-key do sexual assault her multiple times.
Like name
also other girls too.
Yeah. Like name an example. Like what happens?
Like there's so many times where she's walking to school and they just toss her over their shoulder and make her get in their car with them.
Yeah.
And you're like, eventually you're like, okay, I like them, but at first it's like, if a guy ever did that to me, 1, I'd be scared. 2, I'd just be like, okay, they're gonna rape me. Like, it's just, no.
Not cool.
Not cool.
Not
so,
cool.
they do sexually assault her.
And then they kind of laugh it off, like, ha, it's fine.
But like, it's one of those books, so you have to, I kind of expect that going in. So I wasn't too mad about it, but if it was like, this was a realistic book, I would have been mad about it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
My number 2 is the first sexual moment with Raven. So, what happens in the book is that they're trying to break into their enemy's cabin and almost get caught because Raven stupidly turned on a light during this naked party that they have at the cabins. They have a party at the cabins where everybody can only be in a swimsuit or underwear. And they cannot go inside, and it's in, they cannot go inside. They have to be outside.
I don't have to say my favorites though.
Oh no! And nobody can go inside. They all have to freeze their booties off naked, so they can only use each other to keep warm, or the hot tubs, basically.
Yeah.
And if you get caught, you have to sleep in these sleeping bags that people have had sex in.
Oh, it's just a huge...
It's a huge orgy.
Fuck fest. Yes.
It's a huge orgy. Anyway, so they decide to break into an enemy's cabin, which is a big no-no because they can't go inside of a cabin. And they almost get caught because Raven stupidly turns on a light during the naked party. So she starts having a panic attack because she's afraid of the dark. And what do the 3 boys do to calm her down? The 3 boys, who consider each other brothers, they think they're brothers. One starts making out with her. One starts feeling her up, while the other goes down on her. Was it low-key hot? Yes. Was it extremely fucked up? Extremely. What? 3 guys and her brothers are like, okay, we're all gonna touch her and make her come because that's the only way to calm her down? Huh? When I'm having a panic attack, that's not what I want.
No, that is not what I want. But
Was it looking hot?
did I like it?
Kinda.
Yes, I did.
Anyway,
Okay.
that was my number 2. But that's the first thing we get.
That's the first sexual moment. Yes.
Anything physical, not even a kiss, nothing. That is the first moment we get. Is her having a panic attack, so the boys are like, let's fuck her up.
But there's so many sexual moments where they don't talk. They don't touch, I mean.
Okay, but that's the first time they actually touch.
I know, yeah, that is
It's
weird.
really
It is weird. Okay, my number 1. Just all of the cheesy lines where they're like, this is our school, play by our rules, we're Bray boys. We'll fuck you up, we're Bray boys. Like, all those things like that, and like how they one up literally everyone, even adults, like the teachers are like, yeah, teach, don't fuck with us, we're the fucking Bray boys. Like, they're high schoolers, and they're like, this is our school, bitch. Like, to the teachers. And I just couldn't, like, take it seriously. I was like, some of those things, I just kind of like, we're just gonna brush it away because, like, I'm just,
I know, we got that one teacher fired.
Oh, I know. Literally,
Because they wouldn't follow their rules.
it just, this book reminded me of, like, something like Bring It On or something like that. Where it's so cheesy, but, like, I love those movies when I was little, and I thought they were so hot, so I was like, we're just gonna pretend like it's like Bring It On, and we're just gonna accept this.
Yeah.
But it was bad. That was bad.
That's bad.
Really bad. So that was my number 1. I just hated that.
My number 1 kind of goes off that.
Mm-hmm.
It's the misogynistic men. Oh my goodness. I could not stand the comments of the 3 dudes. And the amount of times they manhandled Raven and kind of sexualized her was disgusting. Before they even knew her. Just, it was like, hello? Is that all that goes through your mind? I get that she does make great decisions and sabotages herself, and they're just like trying to help her, and like that's kind of sweet. But at the end of the day, she's her own person, and they act like they own her. They don't let her do anything by herself.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a little bit annoying when they're like, you're coming with us and you have no say in it.
Yeah.
That part bothered me, but I also was like, kind of hot.
So like, they treat her like family, but then make comments about her appearance. Like, they're like, little sis, ha ha ha. And then make comments about her appearance.
And they're like, yeah, I fucking fuck you right now, girl.
Yeah.
And you're like,
no.
That's weird.
This is an actual quote from the book.
Okay, let's go.
Roy says, you better wrap that shit up quick before someone else does, to Maddox, and Maddox goes, when I shove his ass, he laughs, shoving me back. Not me, fucker, but hips like that are meant for a good gripping. About Raven.
Yeah, they're supposed to be friends.
And he's like, little sis, hee 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 hoo hoo.
And then like everyone sexualizes you and that's why you're bullied. But we're gonna also do it.
Yes. I
Yeah.
hated it so many times in the book.
Yes.
All three of the guys mention some way about how badly they want to fuck her. And then they're like, hee, little sis, love you.
Yes. Again, I want to reiterate, I did recommend this book. Do I think it's good? No. Let's just get that out of the way. No, it's not good. Did I like it? Yes. Okay. Going on.
Now we're going to move on to 3 things we loved / loved how crazy it was.
Yeah. Number 3.
Okay.
Is Raven's comebacks. She is the girl that I wanted to be in middle school. Like reading it, I was like, this is what I would fantasize being. Like the badass bitch who fights people, who doesn't give a fuck. Like she's so good. She's a smart ass. Like I loved her.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, Raven, I want to be you. And I just want to give you an example. So, this mean girl says this to her. What slum did you come from anyway? And Raven says, your daddy finally let me out of the basement so long as I promised to play nice with the others. But not as nice as I played with him, if you know what I mean. And I was like, girl! Yes, you're a fucking badass bitch. I love you. And when she like goes in front of the truck and like out, like when they're hiding, and she like distracts the boys and is like, I'm gonna be sexy. I'm like, oh my god, that is so totally what I would have wanted to be when I was in middle school and high school. I'd be like, I want to be that hot girl that distracts the boys and then they can run away.
And I looked like a toothpick in high school.
No, I did not. I was not that girl. But I wanted to be that girl. And so when I was reading it, it just brought out that
side of you.
Side of me. I was like, that is who I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My number 3 for things that I loved was Royce, the sweet baby boy.
Yes.
I loved Royce.
Is he the blonde one?
He's the third, like the sweet, funny boy out of the 3. The brother.
The blonde one.
The blonde one.
She loves blonde boys.
I love blonde boys. Anyway. Out of all the brothers, I would have picked him. And he's always the one that they send when Raven's really upset with them. Because he knows how to, you know, become... He's more of her friend and more of her support system. And is always there for her, super empathetic. Which just like... So nice. And he really knows how to make Raven feel comfortable and at ease. Yeah. When she's never had that ever in her life, which I just love. And he's the first brother that she actually has a full-on conversation with.
It's true.
In the book. Which I think is so great. He's like such a truly good friend to her.
Yeah.
And it's so sweet. And he's so funny.
Royce.
Especially at like the
Their
cabin.
names though.
I know.
Their names though.
Royce, Captain, and Maddox. Hello.
Who's named that?
Stupid. But even at like the cabin party, he's so silly and goofy. He's like, ha ha ha, I'm gonna run down naked and get all the girls, blah blah blah. It's so funny.
Okay, so my number 2 is the Bleach shower scene.
Oh.
Yes. Because this is like the first scene when she's really honestly vulnerable with them. And it's hot. So there's that. But what happens is basically a girl throws bleach on her, and that's bad shit. That is bad shit. If that ever happened in my high school, oh, that would be crazy.
Because this girl wants or used to sleep with Maddox.
Yeah.
And Maddox now has thrown her aside, and she's butthurt about it.
And she thinks that Raven is his girl, but she doesn't even talk to him at this point. Anyway, she throws bleach on her, which is crazy, and it starts burning her skin and her hair and whatever. So she goes to the showers in like the gym locker room, and I forget who it is who goes with her. It might be Captain. I don't remember. Anyway, one of the other 2 boys is there and is like, girl, what happened? And he sees that he smells the bleach, and he's like, you you need to get in the shower right now. Like, take off your shirt. I've seen boobs before. You're in a bra. You're fine. So she gets in the shower. She's in her bra. And it's like the first time he's seen her, like, you know, like kind of naked. So I was like, And then she's in the shower and she's like pulling at her bra because it's still hurting her. And he's like, the bleach has soaked in your bra too. You need to take off your bra. So he helps her unclip the bra. And while he's unclipping the bra, Maddox comes in and he's like, what are you doing to my girl? And he's like, she got bleach on her. And yeah, it's just this whole thing. It's like the first scene where you're like,
It's like the first little touch of
sexualness.
Something.
And I was just like, this scene was like, again, I'm just gonna say, what my middle school self would have loved. And so me now, I was like, I really
like that part.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So.
Okay, my number 2 for things that I loved was the over-the-top sex these high schoolers were having.
Oh yeah, you can't think of them as high schoolers because they're not.
This is not what high schoolers do. I just thought it was so funny. It was hilarious. Like, where are their parents?
Yeah, where are their parents? They're all at this cabin.
Who lets their high schooler go off to a cabin in the woods that is a whole weekend orgy?
Yeah. Who? My parents, definitely not.
No. And they end the weekend off with a naked party?
I love that.
They have no shame. If I was a high schooler, I would have been there with my legs crossed. They have no shame. There's girls sucking off guys around the fire pit.
The mad out
Dudes hands down girls' shirts on the tables, just in front of everyone. I was shocked at the amount of sex these high schoolers were doing just in front of all their friends. They did not care.
Yeah.
When Maddox took Raven and was like, don't go up there, they're having an orgy.
But you liked it. You saying you liked it or you just thought it was crazy?
It was crazy.
Okay, but there's a part, I'm gonna add to this.
Okay.
There's a part where like Raven and Maddox can overhear people having sex and Maddox whispers in her ear and it's like, they're about to come, can you hear it? And I'm like, yeah, okay.
Oh my god.
I was like, this is dying.
Anyway.
It was like to the extremes of everything, but I kind of loved it.
How? It's so silly.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Okay. Number 1 is one of Kate's
favorites. Do you remember one?
Yeah. When they go to break into the other school's cabin. She has a panic attack.
She does.
Because they have to hide in the dark. And she hates the dark. So they start doing stuff to her. And I was just like...
Is that your dream?
It's not my dream, because I don't really even like men that much. But... Again...
Sophia wants 3 brothers to be next to her. Sophia's just so hot.
I think because it was so unexpected, I was like... I am shook by this, and I love it. So... Again, this is like when my middle school, I'm gonna say middle school because that's like a little young, but like young high school age, when I close my eyes, this is what I would imagine high school parties to be like. So I just like, honestly, the whole cabin weekend in general, I loved because it was like what middle schoolers and young high schoolers think high school parties are gonna be like. And so like fulfilled my fantasies of what they actually are, which they aren't. It's not realistic at all.
No.
But I kind of love that because I was like, this is what I would have thought or wanted. Like, I'm going to show up to this party and everyone's going to get naked. Oh my god, it's so scandalous. Like,
I love how that's one of my least favorite things because it's so fucked up to me.
it is so fucked up. I wouldn't do it, but reading about it.
Yeah.
Let me just take a drink to that.
I'll take one with you.
You want porn? Read this book. Yes.
My number one is more sweet and kind.
Okay. Not sexual.
Not
like
sexual.
Me.
My number one is the friendship she makes with almost all of the characters along the way.
Yes.
So
that is great.
she is this girl with a terrible upbringing and past that she doesn't trust anywhere, where she doesn't trust anyone, and is constantly in fight or flight, and now is slowly realizing that not everyone will hurt her. She becomes friends with this girl in the home.
Yeah.
She becomes friends with another guy in the boys' home.
Yeah.
She becomes friends with the 3 brothers. And she finally realizes that there are people in this world who won't just hurt her or won't use her.
What drives the book is the friendships and the connections that she makes, but the reason you're there is going to be the sex and like sexy scenes. Like, you're not going to read this book for connection. It's going to be because you want sexy scenes and not because you're looking for a good arc or some like good friendships. Like, it's gonna be because there's sex and then there's friendships.
Yes, but I still thought that was my favorite part.
Yes.
I loved it.
I think it definitely adds to the story, because if it was just sexy, you wouldn't really care that much.
Yeah. I have one last thing.
Okay.
It's like a
bonus.
little bonus.
Let's hear it.
The ending, I hated it. I hated the ending. So there's more books to this, which maybe we should read them and have another episode.
We need to
about
read
it.
them. We need to read them.
She decides there's another enemy in another school that's kind of their like rival school, where there's a whole backstory about it, but
And they're fighting them the whole entire time.
Yes, and they end up getting a sex tape of the 3 of them hooking up in the house of the sex scene that Sophia loves. So they're all 3 doing things to her. And to make sure that they don't show that, she ends up going over and selling her body to the enemy. She says, I'm going to have sex with you and prostitute myself like my mother so that you don't show this video. But she protects them so that they can play in their stupid basketball game. That's what's at stake. A basketball game.
Well, and their reputation.
But also,
But,
I'm sorry,
yes.
it was all of them that made the choice to do that.
Me just giggling this whole time because I'm like,
You're like kind of into it.
I'm just gonna turn a blind eye.
You're like, prostitute yourself.
I'm like, the drama though.
No, I was so mad.
If this book was like #1 bestselling on New York Times, I would be like pissed. But I'm just gonna accept that this is a shit book and be like, the drama though! She's really giving the drama, and I said, give it to me. Because that makes me want to read the next book because I want to know what happens, you know?
The very last thing she says is, I'm gonna go fuck the enemy.
Yes.
And she shows up at his house.
Girl power! I'm just kidding.
No! Anyway, I was so mad. So, I want to hear your thoughts on the book. I mean, we kind of already know your thoughts on the book.
Yeah. Okay, so, bad, but good. That's basically what I want to say about this book.
Bad but good.
It reads like a Wattpad bad porno book. That's what it is. The reason I liked it, again, is because this is the fantasy I would have had as a young preteen teenager. And would have been like, this is what teenage parties are like. Everyone gets naked. And the boys think I'm so cool. And I can fight boys. And I am sexy. And I look like Megan Fox. That is what I would have wanted. So this like lives on my fantasy of that. Is bad. It's bad. The boys, misogynistic. The boys, sexually assault women. They suck. The boys really suck. Do they have redeeming qualities that make us like them eventually? Yes. But are they bad people? Sort of. But I liked it. I enjoyed it because I just kind of like brushed aside the parts that I was like, this is not realistic. This is actually misogynistic. This is actually illegal. This is bad. And I went, but sexy. That is where I was at with this book. So let's hear what you think.
So, this is kind of controversial. Closes the book.
Oh no, I'm scared.
I hated the book up until page 200.
Okay, when they're having.
I was so mad. I hated that they made Raven the way she was. I hated the boys. I hated everything about this book until halfway through. And then once things started to pick up and she moved in, honestly, I think her moving in with them was my selling point.
Yeah.
I did not like this book, but would I read the second one? Yes. Did the end make me want to read the second one? Yes.
The drama.
It's so much. There's so much. So I feel like we should read the second book and we should do another one.
I think so too. I want to read it. I've been wanting to read the second one.
So I think we should do that. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I would give it probably a 3 out of 5.
I mean, going into it, you know, the boys at Brayshaw High. It is gonna be bad. This cover, bad. It looks bad. That's why I bought it, and then I didn't read it for like 2 months because I just couldn't look at that cover and take it seriously. And then I read it and I was like, kind of like it.
What would you rate it? If you're gonna
Like,
rate it to
the
every
way that
single
I rate it is based on how much I enjoyed it, not so much on like, okay, Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is a 5-star read for me. It's my favorite book. If I rate this book 5 stars, I'm not saying that this book is also 5-star. It's also the same level of writing and amazingness as Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. It's more just like how much I enjoyed it. But if I'm rating it compared to that, I would say it's like 3.
Okay, so we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Love that.
But I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I like reading it, so I would rate it a 5. If you literally just want really
Crazy
sex scenes and crazy drama, you need to read this book.
And just
That's
out of
pretty
this
much it.
world circumstances.
Oh yeah.
Which is really fun to read. It is really fun.
Because you would never be in that in high school, but it's like Riverdale. It's like, this is not realistic. No high schoolers like that, but we love watching it because it's so dramatic. And you're like, I low-key like it.
Yeah.
Because it's so fun and weird. It's like
so
that.
that's our take on this book.
Yeah.
We're gonna read the second one,
Yes.
and we'll let you know what we think. Because I'm worried about the second one.
I don't know what's gonna happen.
Based on this ending. It's very controversial.
If you have any books that are similar to this but you think are better,
Please let us know.
let us know.
But that was our review of The Boys of Brayshaw High.
Yes.
If you've read this book, please let us know.
We would love to know your thoughts.
Please like and subscribe.
Yes.
Follow our
Comment.
TikTok. Follow our YouTube.
Give us any other book recommendations you want us to review or talk about. Maybe some controversial ones. We love that.
Follow our Instagram.
Have an amazing
Week. And I'll see you guys next
week,
week.
month, everything. You know, we're drunk. So
See you next week on,
see you next week on
Drink Read
Fabio.
Good night.
Bye, you guys.
Bye, you guys. Why do I always say good night?
I'm drunk.
I'm wasted.
I'm fucking drunk.